What's up, everybody? It's Amy with Life Redesigned. Hey, coming to you tonight to do a quick check-in. We are halfway through the year, and I don't know about all of you, but wowzers, am I taking a peek at my goals and realizing that this year went so fast? Raise your hand if that is also you. So I'm here to give you some pointers and to give us all some steps on how to dominate the rest of this year. So let's first talk about what we did at the beginning of this year. Remember, we got on here together. We created our little our vision board for the year. And what I first want you to do is if you went on and created that vision board, I want you to go back to that vision board and take a peek at what is on there. So often we create these vision boards and then we'll look at them for a while and we study them and we're like, we've got this, and they're in the front of our minds. And then what tends to sometimes happen is we kind of put them aside because life happens, right? Other things come up, just all the things. So what I first want you to do is take a peek at your vision board that you made at the beginning of this year, or take a peek at your, whatever journal you had that you wrote down your goals in. And I just want you to kind of take a peek and see what you decided that you were going to aim for this year. Okay, so did you aim to buy a new car? Did you aim to build your business to X amount of dollars in sales? Did you aim to hire X amount more staff? Did you aim to get a promotion at your job? Did you aim to start a business? Did you aim to duplicate your business and open another location? So wherever you are, take a peek at that and let's decide 3 things of what we need to do, if anything, or which these apply to from your goals. Okay, so there's 3 things that we really want to take a peek at when we're taking another look at the goals that we created, and that's review, reset, and revise. So again, the very first thing that we are doing is we are reviewing. The reason that we are reviewing, resetting, and revising is that we are assessing. Okay, it is not a good idea to create goals at the beginning of the year and then just write them down and then never look at them or never take a look at them again and assess where you are. We are constantly assessing everything that we are doing in life. So whether that is, our family, whether it's our business, I hope that you are assessing that very often. Systems within our businesses and especially our goals. So there'd be no reason that we're not doing the same thing with our goals. Okay. So we're taking a look at reviewing them. We're taking a look to see if we need to reset anything. And we're also taking a look to see if we need to revise anything. So just imagine this, just imagining that you are driving a ship and your goal was to get to, land X. So on your way, about halfway, you're just kind of taking a second to assess where you are. How is the ship crew doing? How are you feeling as a captain? Are you more tired than you thought you were going to be? Are you just absolutely killing it and making it more on, faster on time than you thought you were going to be? Do you need to turn the ship around because everything's going haywire and it's not even going really well? Do you need to accelerate because you've got some weather that's coming up that you weren't expecting? Do you have the time to kind of take the journey and reflect with the route that you decided? So those are the things that we're doing with our goals. And so as we're reviewing them, we're asking ourselves, is there anything that I need to reset here? Okay, is there anything that I need to kind of set aside? It's not going to work. Maybe I've got to move it to next year. Maybe, also maybe you've accomplished everything on your goal list and maybe you need to reset, meaning you need to set new goals for the remaining part of the year. Or do you need to revise anything? So if you have 5 goals written down and you're finding, maybe there is something really drastic that happened in your personal life, is there a way that you could revise your goals to stay on your goal sheet? But should you revise those and see what that would actually look like for the rest of the year because something happened? Did something drastically happen in your business that you kind of just need to revise those goals to head toward the remaining part of 2023. Okay, so review, reset, revise. And now I want to ask you a few questions about your goals and about what you did set to kind of help you get through these 3 steps. So the first one is, are your goals that you are looking at, are your goals realistic and are they achievable? Okay. So as you review this, have you made some progress on your goals? Have you considered if there's anything that's like holding you back within your goals? So, one, have you made progress within your goals? So, are you trucking along? So, it doesn't matter if you're not there yet. It doesn't matter if you think that it's so far away. If that is still your goal and you're finding through the review, reset, revise process that that's still a great goal to have on your sheet, let's take a look at, have you made any progress in getting there? Okay, if the answer is yes, keep it there and we're going to keep moving forward. Also considering, is there anything holding you back? So now taking a look and kind of, looking at this and reviewing it, is there anything that's actually holding me back now that wasn't holding me back when I made this goal? So now that you've lived life for half of the year, is there anything that you're feeling like, you know what? I've got to actually set this boundary. You know what? I've got to do this with my staff. You know what? I've got to make these changes in my business. You know what? I've got to hire a coach to kind of help me run through the rest of the year, because the time that I thought I might not have. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Okay, we're good. Sorry. Okay, so are your goals realistic and achievable? The second question is, do you have the right people in the right place to attain your goals? Do you have people that are on your team? Do you have people that are in your business? Do you have staff members? Whatever that might look like, do you have those people in the right place? Because let me tell you, when you have those people in the right place, the sky is the limit and you will feel it, you will see it, and the results will be unbelievable. You will get to those goals and you will hit those goals by the end of the year. I don't want to guarantee it, but I want to guarantee it. You know what I mean? So when we have this, the sky is the limit. So think about different, whether it's a virtual assistant, whether it's website design, whether it's a business plan for your business, whether it is, again, staff members, what are things looking like, and do you have the right people in place? If you are a business owner and you have staff that work for you, if you are in a small business and have leaders in your business, are your leaders are your leaders doing what you thought that they would? And if they aren't, if your staff isn't, if your leaders aren't, how could we move them? How could we move them in a place to get them to kind of help achieve this goal? So do we need to have a one-on-one meeting with them? Do we need to do more training with them? Do we need to hire somebody from the outside to come in and, kind of take a look at our system? Because, there's more of like the system that we're wondering about. What does that staff member or leader need to continue to move this train and this ship forward? Okay. Do we need to have specific conversations with people? Do you need to set goals? Do you need to do goal setting meetings with your staff and with your leaders? I have always found that is an amazing way to really understand what people need from you. Is just do a quick check-in call. If you do a quick check-in call quarterly, monthly, I know time goes so fast, and then do a big goal setting, a couple times a year. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Is anything getting in the way of you doing your job? Is there anything that you need from me, et cetera, et cetera? Okay. So those are really great check-ins to do. Meetings, conversations, coffee, lunch, or, virtual obviously is always an option. And then is there anything that you need to shift? So if there's anything, maybe there's something you need to shift within your unit. Maybe you promoted somebody and they're not quite fitting in the position that you thought they would. And maybe this person over here is becoming a leader that was unexpected. And maybe those things need to shift. Maybe positions need to be altered, pivoted, just uniquely adjusted in order for your goals and your business to be able to move forward. Does that make sense? Okay. So we've got question number 3. How are your standing operating procedures? So we call these SOPs. How are your standing operating procedures? Okay, so how are things going within your business model? Okay, so we all have a business model, whether you have a small business, whether you have a side hustle, whether you have staff, whether you have no staff. We all have an operating procedure of how this works. Now, your operating procedure could be that it's just you, that you're the only staff member. And what I'm asking you is, how is your operating procedure going? How is the operating procedure of you getting your work done, achieving your goals, plugging in every single day. How is that going? Do you need to adjust anything? You have reviewed it. Do you need to adjust and maybe have daycare for the kids? Maybe you thought your standing operating procedure could be that you could work at home with the kids there. I don't know about you, but I definitely can't with mine. Like, it's got to be on a totally different schedule. So maybe you thought that was going to work and now it's not going to work, and now you've got to adjust that. Okay. So checking in with that and really assessing, like, you know what? Now that I'm looking back, the way that this operating procedure, the way that this process is going, it's actually not working very well. And I think I could actually do a little bit of a better job of making it more productive for even a less amount of time. Okay. So checking in, adjusting things if you need to, redirecting if you need to, making rules if you need to. Okay. So for example, within my brick and mortar business, we have a work communication channel. Okay. And this is our 10th year in business, you guys. Every year, not every year, but this is our 10th year in business. So, things that you're like, we've got this all set. There's just things that present themselves that you constantly have to be open, and your eyes have to be open and ready to understand that you have to readjust, adjust, pivot, and redirect often. Okay. So redirect is kind of my word and the example that I want to give for you right now. So we have a work channel, and just what I've been finding is there's been a lot of communication. So everybody that works within my brick and mortar is part-time. So what I found is there's been a lot of communication outside of this work channel. Now, what's happening because of that is my staff is starting to feel like they are constantly working. Right? So get this, okay? We have thousands of people within our community. We have hundreds of current students that are at both of our studios, and all of us as staff. Now, let's say that you are an instructor. If somebody is constantly text messaging you right now, right, and you feel like you need to respond through personal messaging, what happens is the work message and the personal message actually gets blurred. The result of that is what happens is my staff feel like they're working all of the time because they're constantly answering personal things over here. What I need to make sure of and protect is that they are only communicating through the work channel. Okay. So then what happens is, one, I've got a trail of everything. Two, now they are only plugging in on the time that they need to when it is work related. Does that make sense? So it might not make sense, but this is a huge thing that I have had to do to redirect our energy, redirect our communication. Even though we've had this work communication channel for a very long time. Ever since we came back from like a few years, we've had it for a few years ever since it came out. So again, it's assessing like, okay, these are the things that I'm hearing. Why am I hearing them? Where are they coming from? You know what? I've got to redirect. So this is huge, huge, huge. What do your standing operating procedures look like? And do you need to redirect? Okay, the next question I'm going to ask you is, are you making time for important aspects of your life outside of work? Okay, this is so huge, you guys. And I want you to think about this because it's really, really important that you do make this time outside of work. So making this time outside of work is so important because you're constantly going to feel the need to, or the urge and the need or the want, the desire to hate your goals, to get obsessed with them and all that stuff. And what can happen is we can lose sight of where we are right now. What's also really important in goal setting that we often forget is that you take time to slow down. You take time for things that are on your priority list, whether it's family, friends, travel, whatever that might be, to really kind of take a step back sometimes, because that's what's also going to launch you forward. So often we're in like the chase. And what we forget to is to take care of ourselves and our heart and our, mental capacity of what it is that we need and what we need emotionally and what we need, all of these things. So renew, refresh. If you're anywhere near where I live, like, it is so important to head out and get that vitamin D because we don't get it through, a lot of the year. So make sure to get out in the sun, make sure to spend time with your kids, make sure to do nothing. So sometimes, like, as you're checking in, When you feel the urge to chase or track, instead, take a step back. Let's see what that can look like. My last question for you is, are you prepared for setbacks? Okay. Where are you at in this review, reset, and revise process? When you are looking at this, are you looking at it and going, holy cow, I feel like I am such a failure. I feel like I have gotten nowhere. I shouldn't even be setting goals. Okay, don't do that. All right. Don't do that. All we're going to do right now is we are going to regroup. We are going to reassess, we are going to revise, and we are going to kick this into gear to finish this year off strong. So I don't want you to get up here, because up here is how we stay strong, and we need up here to help us continue to grow. Okay. So the thing to remember about goals, it's not all or nothing. It's not, because if you have goals that you have written and you right now are revising or assessing, reviewing, whatever that looks like, and you have even changed them, chances are whatever you have been doing, you have gotten somewhere, right? If you're chasing for this promotion, but you make it to this promotion, I mean, you're not there, but you still made it here. So you've gone somewhere. If you're chasing a promotion and you haven't gone there, I'm gonna guarantee that you've probably gotten somewhere because you've done some sort of training or certification, or you've done, maybe you've worked on your mindset. Maybe you've worked on, whatever it might look like. If you're looking to start a business and you thought you're going to be open by now, but you're still working on the business plan, I'm going to guess that you've still made some sort of progress to get yourself there. So this is not the time to look at our goals, review, reset, and revise and go, I'm terrible. I shouldn't be doing this anyways. This is the time to get back on track and to do all the things that we just talked about, to adjust, to pivot. Are we going to accelerate the ship to get there early? Are we going to take our time to get there on time? Do we got to turn the ship around and head another way? Do we got to stop at a different island? Do we have to get some passengers off? Do we have to rescue some people on the way? What does that look like as we are driving our ship to the end island, aka going through the rest of this year for our goals? Okay, because here's the thing, again, remembering about goals, if you fall short, you have still moved. Okay, if I set sail with my ship to head over to that island and I don't get there, I have still moved. So don't get in your head right now. It's very important that we keep a positive mindset up here so that our goals can keep driving right here. Okay, so we're going to focus on moving. So review, reset, and revise. I'd love for you to tell me in the comments just where you're at. If you're reviewing, if you're revising, if you're resetting, anything that you need, I'd love to take a look at your goals for you. You guys, the time is now. Post your goals in the comments below. And if there's anything that you want from me, feedback, anything, let's take a look at them together. Post your goals in the comments below, because I'd love to see where you're at, and let me know in the process of where you're at reviewing, reset, and revising, and where you're at with the goals. Listen, we are going to crush the rest of this year. Okay, we are. So just remember, goals, and right now where we are at, it is not all or nothing. And if you fall short, you have still moved. All right, you guys, I will see you next week. The calendar is coming up soon, so stay tuned. Join me every Thursday at 8 p.m. for free training in our Life Redesigned group. Super excited to have you here. Can't wait to see what your goals are for the rest of the year. And I will see you next time.